In this video, we are going to learn about Django forms, which are used for making forms like your web page forms and all in Django. So, what are Django forms? These are an integral and important part of our Django model view controller, also called as MVC, which are helpful in providing a efficient way to handle your data submissions and interactions with user. So this video will be a guide to explore the fundamental concepts of your Django, which includes the knowledge of creation, validation, and rendering forms. So let's see about creating a form in Django. Now I think everyone knows what a form means. So a form, in the sense, it's similar to the form which you fill in your Gmail creation, like your name, your new email address and all. So it is very similar to that. Now we need to have a form class which can be created using Python, which inherits from form.form, the method. It defines each field as classes, such as a form.character field, which you will give it as char field, and for integer field it will be forms.integer field, etc. Now here it means that the form type which you are giving will be of that particular data type. Now if you want to specify about field properties, there are many attributes such as your labels, your max length, your like required, like the questions you'll be asking, like if you want to fill your email ID in somewhere, it will say it's required, like you'll get a warning message over there, similar to that. And there are many other user-friendly labels and instructions in the field properties of Django. Now first, then we'll see how to instantiate the form, which also means by making an instance of a form using your views.py file of your Django. Now this form instance can be used to render your forms in a template as well. Now we will see how to render the form. Rendering your form. Now we will see how to render the form. Rendering form uses the context dictionary, where the Django provides you with a form template tag, as it is shown in the video, to render the form with your default HTML elements, such as your tags, your ahref tag, and your object tags and all that. Next is form fields and widgets. Now we have various fields in your forms, such as your text, number, and choice field. In text field, you have various other inputs like your name, your addresses, or your descriptions, which can be entered using your forms.character field, form.url field, and many other forms like that. Another one is your number field, where you use numeric inputs such as your age, the quantity, or any price. Here we use forms such as your forms.decimal and forms.float. Another one is for choice fields, such as the ones which you tick or tick mark in your form, where it asks whether what's your next is choice field. Now the choice field allows for multiple choices, such as in the forms you have seen, you need to tick mark the languages which you know, or any preferences which you want, so it can be used in that. Now there are various form choices fields, such as your multiple choice field, your radio select field, and the checkbox select multiple field. Next is your handling form of submissions. Now there are four major processes in it. First one is your submission, which comes after process, validation, and saving of data. Now let's see about form submission. Here, when a user wants to submit the form, the data is sent to your Django view. It only happens when you click on the submit button of your form. Next is the process of data. Now the view.py file receives your submitted data and it passes it to an argument. Now in the program which I have written, you will be writing a code to get the response from the form, and it will process that data for validation in the next step. Such as, for validation, the Django automatically validates the data based on the form field definitions. Now these definitions will be giving it in the views.py file, and if the data is valid, it will be processed to save. Next is how to save the data. The view of the data can be saved on a database and perform other actions and redirect the user to a success page. Now when you fill your Gmail ID and password, if it validates it and it is correct, then only you will be able to access your Gmail account, which is this success page. It is similar to that, and the database which we use in Django is SQL. Next is validating of form data. Now we have majorly three types of validators in Django, which are first your built-in validators, which is provided by Django itself for common data types such as your maximum lengths and email formats. Now here validators in the sense, when you let's say when you enter a password for a Gmail ID, it has to be of particular length and should contain some particular special characters such as @ or underscore. That all requirements can be given here during validating. Next is your custom validators. This is made by the user itself, and these functions can perform specific checks such as your strength of the password and such as your password strength and user uniques. Next is a validation of errors. Now if a validation errors, Django displays your error message to the user, helping him to correct the invalid data, such as the sorry about that. Such as in Gmail, when you type an incorrect password, it will show you an error saying it is as invalid password. So that helps the user to change it to a correct one. Next one is rendering of forms in templates. Now we have three rendering forms used here. First one is your template tag. It uses the forms template tag, which is provided by the Django, to render your form in HTML template. Now here the Django automatically generates your HTML for each form field. Next are your form fields. The access form fields uses the form.field name syntax, such as your form.as_p or form.as_table tags for various rendering styles which you want. Next one are error messages. It uses forms.errors to display your errors if there are any validations to be done. Now these can be customized on the user requirement if he wants to change it. Next is working with model forms. Now first one comes here is simplified form creation. Here the model forms automatically generate form fields based on the fields which you define in your Django models. It helps in saving time as well as effort for making multiple forms. Next is data integrity. The model forms automatically enforce your data integrity using various validation rules which we learned before, which are also defined in your models. It ensures that only valid data is saved on the database. Now next is easy data binding. Model forms handles binding of form data automatically from your model instances. It simplifies the process of creating and updating your data in your databases. Next is your form customization and styling. Now here we have three various methods including its description. Now let's see of widget customization. It involves the changing of your appearance of your individual form by using various widget classes. Examples: your form.text area widget, which is used for larger text areas. Next example, your forms.text area, which uses larger text area for writing your text. Next is CSS styling. Here you can add your CSS styles to various form elements to customize its colors, fonts, and visual aspects. You can also use the Django's template system to include your CSS file in your templates. Next one is template overrides. Here we can override the default HTML templates generated by Django by creating our own custom templates. It allows for fine-tuning of the rendering of your forms for a specific design. So that's for this video, people. I hope you liked it, and you can give your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you.